Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Miss Michelle. Today we're going to make some little nests with eggs in them. So for this project, you'll need 4 egg whites, or whole eggs to separate, a 14-ounce package of sweetened coconut flakes, a tablespoon of sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, and your favorite egg-shaped candy. You can use chocolate, jelly beans. If you don't have Easter candy available, peanut M&Ms or Jordan almonds would be great. And just a little bit of white chocolate chips to help stick your eggs into the nest. So I'm going to start by preheating my oven to 300 degrees. And while I wait for that to heat up, I can prepare my cookies. So I'm just going to make a coconut macaroon and shape it into a nest. So I'm going to need 4 egg whites. So I'm going to separate them in smaller bowls in case I mess up. Then I'll just mess up 1 egg since they can be kind of tricky. So I like to just crack it, and then you can catch the yolk in one side of your shell. And if you pour it into the other side, you can usually separate it pretty easily, and you can use, if you need to, the sharp edge of this shell to cut the white part away from your yolk. This one's separated pretty easily, so I'm just gonna separate it, and then after each one I'm gonna dump it into my larger bowl, so in case I get some yolk in the next one, I'll have my first one nice and safe in there, already separated. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my sugar and salt, and then I'm gonna whisk these together. So if I tilt the bowl to the side, I can kind of gather all the liquid together, and then I like to make a kind of oval motion going through the mixture and through the air so I can incorporate air into my egg whites. And then when those are a little bubbly, I'm gonna stir my coconut in with a fork. Okay, so once these are nicely coated with the egg mixture, I'm gonna use it's not quite a mini muffin tin, but they're a little bit smaller. It's a tart pan. So I'm gonna use this to shape them into nests, and I'm gonna grease it really well. So if you don't have this specific pan, you can probably just use a regular or mini muffin tin, or if you don't have any muffin tin, you can probably just shape them with your hands and then bake them on a regular baking sheet on some parchment paper. So I'm just gonna scoop an ice cream scoop worth, or a big spoon, into each spot, and then make a little indent and just kind of shape this into a little nest shape. Okay, this is a simple but kind of messy project. So once I have all my little indentations in my nests, I'm going to bake these in my preheated oven for about 30 minutes. I'll probably check on them after 25 or 20 to make sure my coconut isn't getting too brown. Okay, so my nests are finished. I had to leave them in a little bit longer, but I have a gas oven and it usually takes a bit longer for me to cook things, so just check on yours, and when they start to get a little bit golden brown around the edges, you can pull them out. And I did an experiment. I had a little bit extra, and I just shaped them into the nests, and they seem to work just fine and hold their shape really well. So if you don't have the muffin tin, you could just use a baking sheet. So I'm going to wait for these to cool down, and then I can put my eggs inside. Okay, so my coconut macaroons are cooled down. I am just gonna take some of my white chocolate chips, and I probably won't need that much. I'm just gonna pour probably about a half a cup or so into a little microwave safe container, and I'm gonna heat these up for 20 seconds in the microwave. And they're not gonna look quite melted yet, but I can stir them up and see if they start to melt a little bit. They look like they need a little bit more time, but I want to start slowly because I certainly don't want to overcook these. So if they need a little bit more time, I'll give them another 10 seconds. And then if I start to stir them, they will start to melt a little bit more. So I'm just going to stir them until they're smooth. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my macaroons out. I might need to use a butter knife to loosen them up a little bit. Whoops, oh no. But if I grease my pan really well, they should come out pretty easily. And then the ones that I did on the parchment paper, they should come off pretty easily. You can also grease the parchment paper, but they made a nice nest as well. So if you don't have the muffin tin, you can still make these. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of chocolate in my nest, and that's gonna help my eggs stick in. And I can just stick these in and make a nice little spring nest. So this is a great project for Easter, but if you don't celebrate Easter, you can still make these as just like a little spring bird's nest, because birds always make their nest and lay their eggs in the springtime, and you might even get lucky and have a bird make a nest in your yard. I've had them make nests in wreaths. I had one like on top of my electrical meter, so they find like really funny places sometimes to make nests, or if you have a birdhouse, they might move into there. But this is just a really pretty easy and cute spring treat you can make. And they're pretty easy to make, but if you give them to family or friends or neighbors, they'll probably be pretty impressed by this project. And you can put your favorite candy in them, and they will be delicious. Okay, so here's my really cute little nests. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked this project, and happy nest making.